Happy Sunday, besties. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna have a chat about a topic that I've been kind of alluding to on my channel quite a few times recently, if I do say so myself. Essentially, we're gonna talk about wardrobe maintenance. Right. We're gonna talk about basically everything from shoes to handbags to clothing to... what else is there? Nothing. I guess jewelry, but I mean jewelry, I don't really do maintenance on myself. If there's maintenance needed on jewelry, I hand them into the jeweler, so we've gotten that out of the way already. Let's start with shoes, because basically that was what sparked the timing of this entire video. I was like, I have 4 pairs of shoes that I'm gonna hand into the cobbler. Let's talk about it with my Siedler family, literally. Working with your cobbler is key in taking care of your shoes. Essentially, if you're gonna buy expensive shoes and you don't want to spend any time or money going to the cobbler, then do not buy expensive shoes. Expensive shoes, or shoes in general, in my opinion, they don't have to be expensive. But if we're talking about luxurious shoes, please do the maintenance and take care of them and go to the cobbler and get them fixed up. And don't use them only one round, right, until they get a little bit beaten up, but use them several times. They get used, they get worn, they're on the ground. I've seen a lot of comments about you're literally walking on money when you're wearing designer shoes. Like, yes, I agree, but I am fine with that. And I actually do the maintenance of my shoes, so they don't only last one season. I've had many of these for, I mean, I'm only gonna talk about 4 pairs of shoes today, but I've had many shoes in my collection for literally decades, honestly. These shoes you've seen on my channel many times. These are my Stuart Weitzman 50/50 boots. I've worn them many a winter season and many a fall season. Now they do look a little bit worse for wear, I'm not gonna lie. I basically need to change out the sole of the shoe. If you're afraid of seeing a little bit of dirt, this is not the video for you. But basically, if you see on the sole of the shoe, it's starting to get worn out. Basically, you see it on the actual bottom of the shoe, like it needs to be switched out. Because if you don't switch it out, essentially this like woody bit of the shoe will get worn out, and when that's worn out, it's truly no bueno. So do change out the soles on the shoes so that you don't start to bite into the woody part of the shoe, which I honestly have done a little bit, so that's not great. But anyway, I will change out the sole of the shoe because it's time, it's overdue. Also, I've gotten a few like little scratches on the top of the shoe, like here. This is like a lambskin type boot, so it's super soft leather. So part of the journey of this type of leather is that you will get scratches, right? I will basically hand these into the cobbler. He will add some little filler on them. He will scrub them up and he will make them all shiny and new again. And essentially that's what you have to do with leather boots if you want to make them last. Take care, like be mindful of the sole part and be mindful of like any wear and tear on the leather, and go to a good cobbler that does know how to take care for like leather boots, right? Which most cobblers should, right? But do find a cobbler that you trust with your nice shoes. Similarly, a pair of boots that I thought I was decluttering, but then I basically started wearing them like crazy. Now almost worn them out. These are my ash gray boots. These suede boots, oh my gosh, I've gotten so many compliments on these. But why we're talking about them today is that they're getting a little worn, right? I mean, with suede boots, something that I always do is to spray a little shoe protectant. Now, I know a lot of people talk about a specific brand. I am here to tell you that the specific brand doesn't really matter. As long as you buy like a good shoe protectant, you can buy it in like a shoe store, or you can buy it in, like I literally bought mine in the grocery store. You just make sure that it's suitable for the type of shoe that you want to spray it on, right? This one is suitable for textile, suede, and leather. Spray it on my suede boots, on my leather boots. I've even sprayed this on, what's it called? My Saint Laurent Sunset bag, the velvet one. I've sprayed this on it so that the velvet doesn't or so that it's a little bit more resistant to water. Let's say it like that. It's not waterproof, but it's a little bit more resistant. Like if you get some water on it now, like the water drop like rolls off, it doesn't like soak into the velvet. So just get yourself a good like protectant spray. Spray it on your suede shoes and you will be happy about it, because suede shoes otherwise, especially in a climate like here in Sweden where it rains a lot. Like, you have to spray the protectant spray. I don't only spray it once. I respray it like a couple of times per season even, because I have worn them in the rain. Not the smartest choice, but you know, I do spray these down quite a few times per season just so that they do stay a little bit more protected from the water and from the elements. Right. Key tip, do buy a good water protectant spray, please. Then, essentially, why we're talking about them today is the sad part of the like little woody bit wearing off. This is probably a sign of me wearing them too many times without doing any maintenance on them, so that's on me. But essentially, you can see here the woody bit has fallen off, but it's basically the same story, right? The heel bit, right, it's been too worn now, it's worn out. It's not protecting the woody bit anymore, and that's simply no bueno. So, Amanda, do better. Do go to the cobbler more often is basically what we're trying to say here, because otherwise you will destroy your favorite boots, which is not what we want to do. So, do keep track of the little sole part right on the heel. If it's starting to get worn out, go switch it out. Go to the cobbler, say, hey dude, I need your help. I need your help in swapping out. Don't say dude to your cobbler. Hey sir, I need your help. Do help me with swapping out the little heel part of the shoe, please. And then he will be like, yes, of course, ma'am. I will do that. No worries. Right. 2 more pairs of shoes. These are a little bit more eventy type shoes, not really day-to-day shoes, but I have some events coming up, right? I need to wear my Manolos, which is an exciting time. You've seen these green little Manolo Hengisi heels before. I adore these heels. I've not worn them apart from indoors and videos, but I adore these shoes and I will wear them soon. I'm so happy about it, if you couldn't already tell. In order to wear them, I need to protect the little leather sole, because a leather sole heel, if you don't put a rubber sole under them, essentially this will get worn out. To make an example, here we do have a little ivory pair of Manolo Hengisis. We have a little rubber sole under these because basically we need to protect the leather sole. If you don't protect the leather sole, it will get worn out pretty quickly. Essentially, I have a pair of shoes here. Like, sure, these just have a little bit of, you know, they've been worn once. They have just a little bit of, I guess, dirt and stuff. They get stuck. But what can happen, especially with a nice shoe with a leather sole, the leather sole get worn out. It can kind of get thinner, right? Because if you think about it, a material like, where did the white shoe go? What? Where did I put the white shoe? Oh, there we are. Something like this, right? A rubber sole will hold up way better than a leather sole. The leather sole will get thin, it will get worn out. You will soon basically be eating into the satin part, right, of the heel. But with the rubber sole, as you can see, you get a little bit of a thicker kind of, you know, framing from the white, in this case, satin and the ground, right? In this, you don't have a lot of padding between the ground and the satin. And you definitely want to protect the satin, because when the satin gets worn out, there's not a lot your cobbler can do, right? But this is a cheap way to essentially prolong the life of your nice heels with leather soles. Right, so I kind of sneakily showed you a new pair of shoes. How exciting is that? I bought these, right? I bought them on Vestiaire Collective. I have an event coming up. I will basically be wearing a Zimmermann dress in this color, and then I found these, the same color. I am obsessed, literally. I think these little Manolo heels, not heels, flats, are brilliant. Also, if you're not a heels girly and you want to wear like a little sparkle on your toe, but you don't want a heel, look into a Manolo flat. I've been wearing these at home and they've been super comfortable. Granted, I did size up one size, right? Usually, I am a size 37.5. In Manolo heels, I'm a size 37. In these, I'm a size 38. That sounds a little bit ridiculous, right? But basically, size down half a size for heels, size up half a size for flats. That's what I did. So I'm a completely different size in these, but essentially, the way I made it make sense, right, in my mind, or what I've learned from wearing heels, your foot is on a different angle in a heel. If you have too much space, your little poor heel part will be rubbing because your foot will move, right? In a flat, you're basically having your whole foot on the ground. It will spread out more, it will take up more space. So sizing up in flats, especially kind of designer flats. Normal, like non-designer flats, I would probably buy a 37.5. But basically from watching some YouTube videos, I got the tip of sizing up in my Manolo flats. So I did. Essentially super happy with these. I will keep you posted on how comfortable they actually are when wearing them for hours and hours. But basically, I've been, like I said, wearing them at home and this far, like so far so good, literally. That was the shoe portion of this video. For sneakers, you can clean them yourself. Like I've seen many a video of basically people cleaning their sneakers. To be honest, in Stockholm, we have this basically sneaker cleaner place. So they're basically called the sneaker cleaner, and you take your sneakers there and they clean your sneakers. And it's a small business. I'm just like, I am here to support your small business. So I will go drop my sneakers off at the sneaker cleaner, and that's about it. And by the way, I should say I've even worn these on grass and on cobblestone. White on grass and on cobblestone. Do you see any sign of literal outdoors on these? No, because I have the little thicker sole, not even on the heel. Oh my gosh, go me. Pro heel wear right here. Right, then what are we talking about next from my little notes in my book? We're talking about clothing. For one, at first, right, I mean, buying high quality clothing in the beginning will obviously make it easier to take care of them, in my experience. If you buy clothing that's literally meant to stand the test of time, it will be an easier experience taking care of them. If you buy something with high quality fabrics, if you buy something with great stitching, if the craftsmanship in general of the garment is of good quality, it will stand the test of time better, right? Essentially, we have a few different clothing categories to talk about. Cottons, linens, I just throw it in the wash. It's totally fine. Just wash it on whatever you usually wash it, like a 30 or 40 degrees Celsius, right? Wash, you'll be fine. Like jeans, same thing. Just wash them normally. But give me one moment. And then something like coats or blazers or like super delicate garments, I don't dare washing them myself. I would rather just go to the dry cleaner and have him clean them. And also for example with coats, once every 3 years or so, I take my coats to the dry cleaner, not only to clean them, but also to waterproof them. Because your wool coats, essentially, they're not meant for being out in rain and snow and stuff. Yes, they are in a way, but wool and snow, it's not water resistant, right? So I usually put like a waterproofing coating on them at the dry cleaner. It doesn't change like the softness or the texture of the garment, but it's just so that when you get like water on it, it kind of rolls off and it doesn't like sink into the clothing garment. Right. But those I just hand into the dry cleaner. He does his magic on them. I pick them up. They're all new, sparkly and shiny, right? So easy peasy lemon squeezy, literally. When things break, do not throw them away, go fix them. Literally, these are a pair of denim, like a pair of Levi's denim that my mom wore in the 80s. I'm wearing them now. We just adore these jeans. It is basically that a little seam has come undone. I'm not wearing them anymore because this seam has come undone, and before I do more damage to them, I will take them to the tailor. He will stitch them up. Basically, if you see here, the little seam right there has come undone. So he just needs to fix them and we will go our merry way again, and I will continue to wear them. Granted, yes, they are a pair of jeans that are worn because literally we've worn them for decades, my mom and I, but when something breaks, like I said, do not buy something new and throw the old thing away, just fix them. The seamstress or the tailor can do a lot of things, and essentially like this work for them it's super easy. So do not throw things away. When things don't fit you, if you lose weight, if you gain weight, if you just buy something that didn't fit you, especially in the case of it's something that you've worn for a long time, doesn't fit you anymore, go to the tailor, say to them, hey, these jeans or these pants are now too big for me. I need to fix them, right? Can you please help me take them in a little bit? They will say, of course, try them on. We will pin the garments when you're trying them on, we will know how much to take them in. That's exactly what I did with my Hugo Boss navy blue slacks. These I bought knowing that they wouldn't fit me, but essentially the general fit, like throughout the legs and stuff, fit me really well, but just the waist was a little bit too big. So they took them in like, I think 11 centimeters or something, which was pretty significant, right? But essentially now they fit me perfectly. You cannot even tell that they've been tailored. Like, look at this. It's that they're just doing such a great job. Like, go to a good tailor, make sure that when they take like pants or like slacks and stuff in, make sure that they don't only take them in one place, but that they take them in several places, so that they basically look balanced, right? So that it's not only like on the front or on the back or whatever. Make sure that they take them in, especially like in several places around here, so that it doesn't like look strange, right? But a good tailor will know what to do when you bring something like this in, right? That's something that I also need to do with my Ralph Lauren slacks. These I've worn, I mean, yes, they're okay. When I wear them lower slung, they're totally fine, but honestly, I've tried and I'm not a lower slung type girly. I would prefer them to be high-waisted and fit me well at the waist. So I will basically take these to the tailor. Oh my gosh, excuse us, the battery was exhausted, but now we've changed the battery and we're kind of back. Yes, now I think we're back. Essentially, what I was saying, I will take these to the tailor. He will make them fit me perfectly. I will try them on. They will pin them to make sure that they're taking them in a good way that will actually fit my body. Don't only hand them in and say you need to take them in 11 centimeters. Hand them in and have them actually like pin them when they're on you, so that it will make sense with your actual body shape, right? Making stuff fit perfectly is just such a good way to get the most wear out of the garments, because when you're wearing something and you're constantly like tugging on it and you're trying to adjust stuff, my little sweater today, oh my gosh, yes. But essentially, make it fit you perfectly from the get-go, and then you will get so much more wear out of your things. Washing knitwear, that's the next thing we're gonna talk about. Essentially, something like this, like the merino wool turtlenecks from Uniqlo that I go on and on about. These I've had for years. Basically, they're 100% merino wool. On the label, you can always check the wash label, right? But essentially, this says that it should be washed in 40 degrees fine. I do not wash these in 40 degrees. I wash them on a cold or like 30 degrees Celsius wash cycle for like silks and stuff, so that it doesn't have a lot of like centrifugation. Is that's what it's called when it makes that horrible like sound from the dishwasher, from the washing machine. Oh my gosh, that was a hectic moment. But essentially, these I just throw in the washer. I hang them to dry like flat. I don't hang them on a hanger, because when you hang something like this on a hanger, as it dries, it literally, like the shoulders can become like formed from the, I guess, weight, for one, of the fabric being wet and like weighing down right on the garment, and the hanger being like shaping the shoulders as it hangs. Like, no, don't do that. Hang it flat, like over a little drying rack or something, and then you will be totally fine, right? So these are easy. Like a merino wool is easy going for me to wash. That's literally just throw in the washer, hang it to dry, and then you'll be fine. Cashmere is a little bit more difficult, I would say. It's not difficult, but it takes more effort, right? Sometimes I hand them into the dry cleaner, and especially when there's a lot of pilling on them, then, I mean, at least my dry cleaner, he dry cleans them and then he removes the pilling, right? Which is super useful and super helpful, and I'm so appreciative. Essentially, I can wash these like in my sink, right? I put cold water, I put a little bit of Cashmere shampoo, I think it's called. Let me go grab it actually so that I can show you. This is what I use. It's called the Sonnet, I guess. Textile shampoo for wool and silk. I use it for cashmere too. This is the one. It's in my obviously local language, which is Swedish, so that will not help anyone. But essentially, it's just something that I buy at the pharmacy, and it has this fabulous lavender. Oh my gosh, I adore this. It smells like lavender and I'm just obsessed. So that's what I use. You can probably buy these in like more fancy versions, but for me this is just perfectly good enough, and it has like a fabulous scent, right? Like I said. So I can do that. Just put cold water in the sink, a little bit of that. Let it soak for like an hour or like 30 minutes or something, however much time you have. The longer the time it soaks, the better, because basically you don't have like the whole like mechanical or like physical washing, right, that you would have in a washing machine. It just lies there. It cleans itself as it lies in the sink, and then you basically just drain the sink. You just wash it through with like cold water on it a little bit to wash out the textile shampoo out of it. You don't like wring it. No, don't do that. That will destroy the fibers. Just like press on it a little bit and like, I don't know, hug it a little bit until the water comes out. Then you basically, I can do a tutorial, but you don't need a tutorial. Then you lay this flat on a little towel, right? You roll it, then you press on it carefully again, and then you just hang it flat to dry, similar to the merino wool stuff. That is my process for washing these cashmere sweaters. I have a collection of cashmere sweaters. So like that process takes a while, right? Especially when it's gonna lie like for an hour in the sink. Make sure that you're not trying to cook something at the same time, because that will be super annoying and just halt your entire process of cooking. But essentially just on an evening, like I don't wash all of them at the same time, because that would literally take me an entire day, and that would just be annoying. So I just wash one here and there, like in one evening. I wash a couple of sweaters. I don't only put one each time in the sink. I usually put like 2 of them in the sink because it's a bigger sink, right? And then to me it just makes sense, right? And I put similar colors. I don't think they would color each other even if you put different colors, especially they lie there. It's also a more like pleasant experience watching them when they're like a monochromatic vibe in the sink. The weird things of my brain. And essentially on these, I alluded also to the pilling of cashmere. Cashmere garments will have pilling. That is just part of the cashmere journey. No matter if you buy a Lily Silk cashmere or if you buy a Brunello Cucinelli or a Loro Piana or whatever cashmere sweater, it will have pilling. Now, I need to buy a new cashmere little pilling device. Essentially, my mom bought these like from an Instagram ad, like OMG, who is she? She is so much cooler than I am. But essentially I've had it for a while. It's not the most efficient anymore. I'm thinking of buying one from the brand Steamery. I think it's a Swedish brand, and they just look super cute, and I'm just considering it. I've just not bit the bullet yet because I have this one, and it's not fully given up, so it's still doing an okay job. But I would say do not buy these from an Instagram ad. This was not the best purchase. My mama said so herself. She also has one, and she's not a fan of it either. Key takeaway: do not buy stuff from Instagram ads. Then essentially handbags. We have handbags left, obviously. Some handbags, Hermes items, you don't take care of yourself, because essentially with Hermes bags, if you do something to them yourself, Hermes will not spa them anymore. And I think a key thing with buying Hermes things is just taking it to the spa once in a while to make them look all shiny and new again. Right, so Hermes bags I just wear happily. Like I spoke to one of the Hermes artisans. Basically what he said was that these bags are just meant to be worn, so just wear them. They look better with time as you wear them. Essentially, he said what they do, allegedly, right, from what he said, what they do when they have a little bit of like dirt on them and there's something that they need to clean off, allegedly they just clean it off with water. Oh my gosh, news. How can that be? But that's what he said that they do, so that was an interesting key takeaway. He also showed the thingy that they use to remove oil stains from Hermes bags, but essentially we shouldn't do that ourselves. So I took a photo of that thing. I will not show it because essentially I do not condone taking care of your Hermes things yourself, because basically then you break the entire thing of being able to ship it to or send it to the Hermes spa, right? We want to be able to send these things to the Hermes spa, so no third-party maintenance on the Hermes things, because Hermes does all the maintenance on Hermes things, right? Essentially what I do with my other bags that are not Hermes, I have always stayed true to this specific leather gel. When I bought a Mulberry bag, essentially they were like, are you interested in a leather gel? I said, yes, sure. And I bought one of these. This is not the original little tub. I've had many tubs of this. This is the leather gel I use, and this is the leather gel at least that they use to, oh my gosh, I feel like a beauty guru. Look at me go. This is the one that you can buy from, essentially from Mulberry, or at least that used to be the case. Essentially, you can just Google this and you can buy it anywhere, but this I've used on many of my bags. Basically, you wipe the bag first to make sure that it's all clean and that you're not like, you know, moisturizing on all the dirt that's on the bag. You know, just wipe it like a little damp cloth, I guess, not a dripping wet cloth, but just a damp one. Wipe the bag down a little bit so that it's clean. Then what I do, I basically take one of these little clean muslin cloths. I take a little bit of the leather gel and I just buff it onto the little bag, and then until it's fully moisturized, just like you would moisturize your body, just moisturize the little leather bag, right? Let it dry down before I put it back into its dust bag, right? So that it's fully dry and that it's not like, because you know, when you have textiles in moisture in a place that, and it's not drying quickly enough, then you know what happens? It creates mold. We don't want moldy bags, right? So make sure that you let them dry properly before you put them back into their storage. On the storage front as well, always have your bags in dust bags. Always have your bags stuffed so that they hold their shape. We don't want any like ridiculously dusty bags. I know every influencer has their bags on their shelves without dust bags. I have my bags on my shelf but in the dust bags. To me, it makes sense. We don't want no dusty bags. We don't want bags that are losing their shape. This bag is literally like 11 years old. Look at her go. Just do the maintenance of your nice designer bags. It's not difficult. Like I said, just make sure it's clean. Put a little bit of leather gel on it. If you're buying this leather gel for the first time, if you've not tried it on that specific bag that you're trying it on, try it at first like on a little small corner and see so that it doesn't like, you know, discolor the bag or whatever, right? I mean, just be safe. Handle with caution. I am not liable for any discolored bags after making this video. Just be mindful, be careful, just try on a teeny tiny part first, let that be for a moment and see so that it doesn't get discolored, okay? Use your common sense, please, and thank you. Essentially, that's it. I plan on doing that now for this little guy, my Cartier bag. Plan on doing it now for the leather parts on my Dior duffel, so that they get all nice and shiny and moisturized again. But guys, you probably don't want to see me moisturize my bags because you understand the process. Guys, that was it. Did I have anything else in my little black book, or are we done for today? That's it. Also, store your handbags in a dark place. Don't have them in sunlight because then you will basically bleach them from the sun, which is not great. So have them stored in their dust bags. Have them in a shadowy place, not a light, like bright room. Even though what the YouTube girlies would say is to have it in a light, bright room, but we don't do that, right? So that was it. Thank you so much for coming with me on this little wardrobe maintenance journey. I will see you back here next Sunday at 3 p.m. Swedish time, and until then, stay safe, take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.